Lots of people use ChatGPT in their day-to-day life, from asking it stupid questions to making it do your math homework. ChatGPT truly has so many uses. And so I wondered, can I beat Minecraft with ChatGPT? Now, I have some rules for this challenge. Obviously, the first one being that I'm gonna ask ChatGPT what I'm doing in Minecraft, and I have to do what ChatGPT says. So basically, I have to obey their commands like a good boy. What I mean by this is, say ChatGPT tells me to go and grab some iron. I can only go mining and solely grab iron. I can't grab coal, I can't grab gold. Hell, even if I see diamonds, I'm not allowed to grab them. And the last rule I have is that I'm only allowed to say 2 deliberate sentences to ChatGPT. That way I can keep things under control and I don't start cheating and, making up my own rules halfway through when it gets too hard. Now, the first sentence being, I'm playing Minecraft on the latest version. I will need your guidance on what to do next in order to beat this game. Only respond with 1 sentence at a time, giving whatever you believe to be the next best logical step towards beating the game. And the reasoning behind this specific sentence is if you just ask ChatGPT to help you beat Minecraft, they'll give you the goddamn Declaration of Independence and instructions on how to beat the game, and ain't nobody got enough time to read that shit. And the other, more simple sentence, which I would soon later regret doing this challenge, the simple sentence being, what should I do next? So without wasting any more time, let's begin this god-awful, absolutely horrendous challenge that I decided to create. ChatGPT challenge in Minecraft with the one and only ToxicLike. Ba-dum. Upon entering the world, ChatGPT told me to punch a tree to gather wood so you can craft basic tools and start progressing. And so I beat the living shit out of the first birch tree I saw, and I used that wood to craft some basic wooden tools. Now at this point I decided I would craft every single wooden tool, because I figured you never know how long it's gonna take until ChatGPT gives me more tools. So I just figured better be safe than sorry. I mean, at this point everything's going pretty well. ChatGPT gave me the first logical step that essentially every player does when they come into the world, that being, punching a tree. So with this first logical step out of the way, I wonder what ChatGPT is gonna ask me to do next. Craft a crafting table, then make a wooden pickaxe so you can start mining stone. Yeah, so I guess I make another wooden pickaxe and a crafting table. Honestly, the wording in the first prompt is kind of weird, as it kind of implied that we needed to craft the tools already, but you know what? It's not that big of a waste of time. It's okay, I just did it again anyways. Surely nothing like this happens again on a larger scale. The game then told me to use your pickaxe to mine stone and craft stone tools, especially a stone pickaxe and sword. So that step was easy enough, and I quickly moved on to the next step, that being, gather food and coal while mining so you can survive the night and make torches. Now, you might be looking at that sentence and you'll say, hey, ToxicLike, there's absolutely nothing wrong. That's a completely logical step. But if you had read it again, like unfortunately I had to, you'd realize that ChatGPT wants me to gather food when I'm mining. Like, bro, genuinely, what food source is in the mines? I'm not fucking eating cobwebs, bro. Anyways, so I quickly found a cave whilst mining and walked by some delicious iron to solely get my coal. And I also killed some zombies for my food. Do you have food? Nope. I'm fucking Chinese, bro. ChatGPT then told me to build a simple shelter before nightfall and place torches to stay safe from hostile mobs. And so I towered up to the surface, built the greatest hut known to mankind, while almost getting King Von by some skeletons, and then placed a torch or two in my humble abode. I then was very, very amused to hear that ChatGPT wanted me to go back mining to find iron ore, smelt it in a furnace, and craft iron armor, tools, and a shield. Okay, what in the flippity dippity dog shit was the point of going down mining, going back up to build a shitty ass house, just to go back down mining? I mean, if anything, you should be going back up just to make a bed so, you can skip the night and whatnot, but hey, what the hell. And so then I went back down into the same cave I found earlier, found some more iron, and put it in the furnace. But then I began to realize 2 small problems. First of all, I didn't nearly have enough iron to make armor, tools, and a shield. And the second, more noticeable problem was I didn't really have any more of my food because my food was found in the goddamn pits of hell. And so after gathering a bit more iron and stashing it in my furnace to cook, I decided to accidentally fall off a large pillar in the cave and die in order to restore my full hunger bar. I then proceeded to go back into my little huddy hole where my furnace and iron was, and I crafted my iron tools, my iron armor, and my shield. Yo, am I tripping or do I hear footsteps, bro? What the fuck? And, I will admit, as a professional Minecraft player myself, I did preemptively go back up to the surface, anticipating that ChatGPT would make me do something kind of normal, like, looking for a ruined portal, maybe looting a village, or, even, God forbid, getting some food. But guess what ChatGPT had in store? Mine deep underground, around Y-59, to find diamonds and craft a diamond pickaxe. Yeah, for some odd reason, ChatGPT thinks I'm doing Ramadan in Minecraft, and not to mention Y-59 is deadass at bedrock level. Like, there's no way that's optimal for diamonds. And so I trekked down all the way to Y level -59, ensuring I walked as much as possible to keep myself from starving to death. And using my iron pick and nearby caves to traverse a bit faster, it actually didn't take me too long to get to Y level -59. To add on to this good news, my hunger bar hadn't gone to complete shit yet. And I don't know if it's YouTuber luck or something, but I found diamonds after like the first 10 deep slate I mined at this level. I quickly crafted my pickaxe that ChatGPT wanted me to make, and I thought, surely, at this point, I've been mining my entire life, surely ChatGPT is gonna send me up to the surface so I'm not a starving Cambodian child. Use your diamond pickaxe to mine obsidian, then build a nether portal and prepare with armor, food, and weapons. You know what? That's actually not horrible for once. I mean, I do have to mine obsidian by hand because, making a water bucket would be way too smart for ChatGPT to even think about. But I was actually finally able to get food and stuff. And I think my YouTuber luck kicked in again because it wasn't very long before I found a water source which had merged with lava to create obsidian. And after spending a couple fun, thrilling minutes mining obsidian, I was finally able to go back up to the surface. And so I went back up, made my nether portal, and upgraded some tools with the diamonds I got. And my favorite part, I gathered food in very humane ways. Also, for some weird reason, I don't know, ever since I was 8, I just had the habit of never killing pigs for food. Like, I'm not even Muslim or anything, but I don't know why I did that. Anyways, I grabbed quite a bit of food, or at least what I thought would be enough for me to survive the nether. I just want to say real quick, about 96% of you guys watching this video are not subscribed. So if you want to see more of my dumbass in the future, consider hitting the subscribe button as it really would help my channel grow. And so after I was all prepared to enter the nether, I moved on to the next prompt, which was the nice and simple: enter the nether, explore carefully, and find a nether fortress to collect blaze rods. And so entering the nether portal, I was actually feeling quite good about my situation. I had gear, I had blocks, I had tools, I had armor, and I had a plentiful food supply that definitely wouldn't deplete very soon. So after about 10 minutes or so of traversing the nether and getting my get back on several skeletons, I finally made it to the fortress. Now that I had found the fortress, it was time to prompt ChatGPT once again, in which it told me to collect blaze rods from blazes in the nether and craft them into blaze powder. I then proceeded to farm my 8 blaze rods with relatively no problems, and besides a slight miscalculation when jumping back down to my portal, I'd made it out of the nether scot-free, or at least that's what I thought. If you notice, the prompt that I just did told me to turn all my blaze rods into blaze powder. And that makes sense, right? That's what you do to make Eyes of Ender so you can beat the game. So you can imagine the absolute shock and terror on my face when I traversed all the way back to my portal with 1 steak to my name. And the moment I read the next ChatGPT prompt: search the nether for nether wart in the fortress to start brewing potions. What? First of all, Mr. ChatGPT, you could have most definitely told me to get both blaze rods and nether warts when I was at the fortress the first time. Second of all, you told me to turn all my blaze rods into blaze powder. How am I gonna make a goddamn brewing stand? And so I navigated my way back to the nether fortress that I was just at. I got my extra 1 needed blaze rod for the brewing stand, but not without any trouble. And that 1 piece of steak I was just talking about? Yeah, that shit is long gone by now. I then proceeded to explore more of the fortress as carefully as I could. And as I was walking around the fortress, and as I turned a corner in the nether fortress, I proceeded to get jumped by at least what was a whole football team of wither skeletons. Now, obviously, being at half a heart, boxed up in a little hole in the nether with enemies surrounding you, is not very ideal. So I thought in my safe space for a little bit on what my next move would be, and I was actually able to come up with one last-ditch effort. I stashed all my loot in a chest, and once again, accidentally jumped off a building to reset my hunger. Now, the journey back to where my loot was would be no easy measure, but with my newly found music disc in my hand, I was ready to give it my all. And I kid you not, on my journey back to my loot, every single skeleton known to mankind was on my ass. But somehow, some way, with no blocks, no food, no armor, no tools, I managed to scrape by and find my way back to the fortress. And at this moment, as I stared at the chest which had all my loot in it, and as I looked past that to see the blaze which was guarding this loot, I began to think, how in the hell am I gonna do this? Even if I manage to get my loot, I still have fuck all health and hunger and I have no way to replenish it. Like, I have no way to get any food whatsoever until I find some shitty ass nether wart. And I don't even know where the shitty ass nether wart is. And so as I faced off against this blaze, I stared into the eyes of this challenge one final time. If you guys have any ideas about how I can get out of this situation that I put myself in, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm gonna try my best to make a part 2 to this so I can finish up this challenge, but even given my very professional Minecraft skills, I don't know if it's possible unless I play like 15 minutes of perfect Minecraft. Anyways, if you want to catch more of my content in the future, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell. And remember, a toxic like video a day keeps all the bitches away. Peace!